CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Make a difference through a small gift this holiday season. That's the motto behind Operation Christmas Child. They need your help packaging small shoe boxes that have a huge impact. Good morning to you. I'm Adam Murphy, your host for Public Affairs on Peach. Something so small as a shoebox can mean so much, especially when it's packed with toys, school supplies, and personal hygiene items. That is the purpose behind Operation Christmas Child. And here with us today, Carol Smith, the Atlanta coordinator for Operation Christmas Child. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So tell us about the program.
Well, Operation Christmas Child is part of Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan's Purse is an international Christian relief organization, and they have many projects around the world, like World Medical Missions. People might be familiar with it this year because of the Ebola crisis in Liberia, and Kent Brantley was part of Samaritan's Purse. But Operation Christmas Child is the largest project of Samaritan's Purse, and what we do is we collect gift-filled shoe boxes the third week in November every year, and we distribute them through the local church around the world to be a tangible representation of God's love and encouragement and hope for children that are living in crisis around the world.
So how does someone get involved?
Well, anybody can pack a shoebox. So you can just get, this is just a shoebox from my closet. So you can take any kind of empty shoebox. I wrap mine, you don't have to, and you can get shoeboxes donated from anybody that sells shoes. And then you can put a label on it. So I picked boy, but you can, off of SamaritansPurse.org, you can print a label, boy or girl.
That's great.
And so, and then you just put things in that a child would like. I always put hygiene items. So I have soap, a washcloth, and a toothbrush.
That's perfect.
And then school supplies. Many children around the world in third world countries can't go to school unless they pay school fees and they have their own school supplies. And so if you're living in really desperate poverty, you may not be able to go to school without your own school supplies. So I always put pencils and a notebook and erasers so that children can be resourced to go to school. Sure. And then just some things that are fun. So something to love. If you're in an orphanage and you don't have anybody that's telling you that they love you every day, an item to love is good. I have some, this is for a boy, so I have some Matchbox cars. I have a flashlight.
That's great. And a photograph in there. Is that
to
show them who's behind the box?
So
right?
I always put a picture of my family and then write a note about the fact that the child is special and that they're loved and that we love them and that God loves them.
Do you ever find out which child actually receives the shoebox? Is there a way to track that?
You can follow your box online. So when you go to print this label, if you do that online, you can print out a barcoded label. They ask for a $7 donation, and then you'll get an email when the shoebox arrives in its final destination, and they'll tell you which country it goes to. But some people in their note like to put their return address, and so there's many stories of people receiving letters back from the children.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what kind of impact this has on children that receive this. I mean, I would imagine it's pretty significant.
Well, all these shoeboxes go to communities in crisis. So like last year, we delivered over 50,000 shoeboxes in the refugee camps in northern Iraq. So all those people that have had to leave Syria on foot and are living in tent communities right now, they have nothing. And so to receive a gift that has a message of hope can be really transformational for a child. We also delivered over 500,000 shoeboxes into the Philippines last year. So over 2 million people lost their homes because of the typhoon last year. Right. We go into orphanages. We delivered in Haiti after the earthquake. So we go to places where the people are in crisis. We did 500,000 shoeboxes in the Ukraine last year too.
So what items would you say you should probably avoid packing for a child?
So the categories we say to stay away from are things that could damage the box. So liquid or glass that could break in transport. It might go through hot climates, and so chocolate, something that would melt food, is not a good idea. But also these shoeboxes go into communities where the children are actually dealing with the current consequences of war. So any item that is camo or a gun or anything that looks like war, that's not a toy to children that are in the middle of experiencing that. And
you talked about school supplies being a really good item you can throw in here, and hygiene items. I mean, those are probably key, I think, with every box that you
It seems like everybody that packs shoe boxes, like people really love this project, and everybody has their own favorite thing to pack. So my favorite thing to pack is school supplies, but there are people whose favorite item is, a story they have heard about somebody in an orphanage receiving something that was meaningful to them, and that becomes their favorite thing to pack.
Look at the smiles on these children's faces when they receive these shoe boxes full of great goodies. I mean, what a great thing to do to help people around the world, and young children especially, right?
Well, the thing I love about it is I started packing boxes 15 years ago when my children were young. And so it was a really easy way to teach them about giving. So we would take our children to the store with an empty shoebox and tell them that some children around the world don't have all that they have. And if they were going to give a gift to a little girl, I would say to my daughter that has nothing, what would we want to give her, and start beginning to teach them about how to give to others.
Yeah, and it becomes a fun thing for children, maybe your children, that are packing a box for another child, because you get to pick these things out. You know, like you said, you're teaching them about giving this holiday season, and you know, it's touching, very touching to do this, and to know that you're really making a difference in another child's life.
Yeah, and it's so easy. I mean, for something so easy as this to pack at Target or Walmart and know that it can be just really a light in the life of a hurting child around the world.
So how do you know where to drop off the shoebox once you've got it ready to go? What's that process like?
So National Collection Week every year is the third week of November. So during National Collection Week, we have drop-off locations in every community. We had over 20 drop-off locations in the Metro Atlanta area. And that ended this past Monday. And so because we have a processing center for the Southeast in Atlanta, people can still pack boxes, and they can drop them off at the Atlanta Processing Center, which is 425 Horizon Drive in Suwanee. They can go to SamaritansPurse.org and look up that address. But the other thing people can still do is they can build a box online. So if you go to SamaritansPurse.org and click on Operation Christmas Child, it's kind of a cool technology. You pick boy and girl just like you do when you're packing a box, and then they give you items to select, and you drag and drop it into your box. And those boxes also will go to communities in need.
This is fantastic. And when do the children actually receive these? Right around mid-December or sooner?
Some of them get them before Christmas. They definitely ship straight to Savannah Harbor out of Atlanta, and they go immediately to their destination country, but they have to get through customs, and we go to very remote places. There's places that these shoe boxes go where people have to carry them up a mountaintop on their back, or they go by canoe or motorcycle or elephant. So they go to some very remote places. So depending on how far they're traveling, they arrive at all different times.
Carol, thank you for what you do. I mean, this is just fantastic. We appreciate you talking about it, giving people ideas of things they can do that are great this holiday season. If you'd like more information on the Operation Christmas Child program, or if you want to drop off a shoebox, donations are being accepted, as Carol talked about, through December 20th. And that drop-off location, again, right there, 425 Horizon Drive, Suwanee, Georgia, 30024. Donations are accepted Monday through Saturday.
Correct.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the program. And stay with us. When we come back, we're talking to some young people involved in Operation Christmas Child. Hear how their efforts are changing lives around the world.